Hey guys, so as you can see I'm currently wearing tanky gear. I also have disarm gloves from Undead Strat on. I really recommend having those for the first and last bosses as they both disarm. So you're not going to see us pull many of these lasher packs. Depending on how fast you're going, you might need to pull some of them to make sure you keep it at 12 minutes at least, otherwise you're going to get locked out. Sometimes there will be a dusty tome right here. It's a red book that spawns on the ground. It can spawn in a few different places, but it can be Forest Compendium of Dragon Slaying. It can be Nat Pagel's trash book. Either way, I recommend checking them because you could get lucky and get something worth 500 gold. Right here you'll see a mandatory trash pull, which is a satyr. These guys put a poison debuff on you that can be dispelled. It slows your attack speed as well as slows your movement speed. But it's a good way to build rage and kill some time. So we're coming up on our first boss right here. It's the Water Elemental. He disarms you, so I make sure that I have my disarm gloves on before we pull. He also does a dispellable magic debuff that reduces your stamina. It stacks, so it can get kind of nasty, but the main mechanic is that he launches you around the room, so make sure you put your back to a wall if you're the healer, and if you're the DPS you just tank them right in the middle. At 50% he spawns 2 adds that can be one hit, but even if they aren't, they don't hit very hard. He does randomly hit hard. He kind of crits for a lot of damage just randomly. So right here we pull one additional satyr mob. There is one mob in the hallway that you will have to pull, but you definitely would want to pull him even if you can avoid him, and the reason for that is that if you have a priest healer and they're line of sighting the sacrifice mechanic, that the satyr might walk up and pull. We actually get lucky here and get both of them at the same time. This next boss can be difficult if you have a priest healer, but it's very easy if you have a shaman. Priests are able to line of sight the sacrifice mechanic right here on the corner. They can also use a broken pillar in the room, but shamans are able to grounding totem the sacrifice mechanic every single time, so it trivializes the fight. He still does a dot that kind of hurts. Priests can dispel it, shamans just have to heal through it. But overall, he's not a very difficult boss once you kind of know what to expect. There can be a ghost mushroom that spawns on the other side of the platform behind the tent. You just hop on the little ledge and you can pick up the ghost mushroom without pulling anything. So now that we're back in the conservatory, we're going to talk to the Iron Bark Protector, and he will open the door for us. But you'll see here that we pull some lashers, and that's just because there is a dream foil next to them. So when you're pulling stuff like this, you really want to be careful of where you are, because you can easily pull a pat and get overwhelmed. These things don't hit very hard. A priest can AoE solo an entire pack with Power Infusion and Nova, and you can just demo shout to keep them off the Holy Nova. But with a shaman, it might take a little bit longer. You'll see me check over here just to see if there's a book in that far corner. It can spawn in front of the Death Lasher. You don't need to pull anything, not even the Death Lasher, to pick up the book. So it's an easy grab if it is there, so make sure to check for it. We have heard that on the right here, a book can spawn between those two pillars. We have not seen it, but we still check every time. We know a dream foil can spawn there though. I really recommend staying in this room until your herbalism healer is ready to move into the next hallway. The reason for that is that when you go ahead, you can accidentally pull trash, and while you're ahead, the healer might pull trash while checking for herbs. But I don't take my own advice and I run ahead here because I'm a big dumb idiot. So normally what you would do is you would jump off this ledge here onto a pillar and then just do the boss, but we play a safer route, which is to pull the two lasher packs and then do the boss. These Death Lashers actually hit very hard. I don't pull two of them for that reason. The Fell Lashers don't hit as hard, and I would just recommend taking your time with them either way. This next boss is a little more difficult than everything else in the dungeon. I make sure that I have my disarm gloves on as well as Ramstein's lightning bolts on. The boss has 3 different phases he can be in. He can be a satyr, a tree, or a dog. In his dog form, he does the most damage. In his satyr form, he does a spell called Innervate that mana burns your healer. The mana burn can be line of sighted. And the tree form, which can disarm you, it can knock you back and drop your threat, and he also has a rejuvenate ability. So the biggest thing to worry about is the wolf form when you have the imps on you. I really recommend playing it safe and going into defensive stance every time he's in wolf form, and just sundering him and throwing up a demo shout and thunderclap if you can. Definitely tank him behind this pillar, that way when the imps come in, they don't pull any of the trash. If you are tanking behind another pillar and the imps come in, they will just pull all of the trash. We're coming up on 50%, which is when the imps come out of the hallway to my left. I always have Dense Dynamite ready, as well as Ramstein's Lightning Bolts ready. I'm currently armed so I can use Sweeping Strikes. You can see that he goes into wolf form here, which means I'm going to be taking a lot of damage in this phase. You'll see that the Dynamite goes out right there, the Ramstein's Bolts go out at the same time, the imps are all almost dead. Chach can use a Magma Totem to help kill them, finish them off, and the tree is not really a problem in this phase. He's easy to just finish off at that point. If you have a priest, the priest can Holy Nova instead of using the Magma Totem, and I feel like it's more effective.